Hey, what's up? How are you?
What's going on, everybody?
So are you home today?
So I was not going to be,
Okay.
and then I got to work at 8 o'clock this morning. Internet was out, so then I had to run back home, which is why I was a little bit later than I wanted to be.
Okay. Well, just as a heads up, so I know we gave you the overview. These are all the people that created the website so far.
I did the mess with.
Our goal is to be done by Christmas break.
Awesome.
So that's why I figured now would be a good time to get out and chat with you. We're
Definitely.
If you don't mind, just so we have the answers to some of the questions.
For sure.
Otherwise, I will be honest, it's my first year here at Hall Fields. They are a wonderful group. This group, so you're very, very lucky. Besides him, so they're a very, very good group. They have a bunch of questions. We're gonna pass the iPad around, and I know you gave us an introduction about yourself at the PD. I figured you could start with that, and then they could ask the questions.
Yeah, that sounds good. You want me to start right now?
Yeah, sounds good.
Awesome. All right. Well, hey, everybody. I'm Anderson Rathbun. Yeah, I know it's a weird last name. I heard you guys when I was joining. I'm the general manager with the Burlington Sock Puppets, the summer collegiate baseball team here in Alamance County. I moved up here from Daytona Beach, Florida, March 1st of 2020. And if anybody remembers what happened in March of 2020, that's when all the COVID and the pandemic things happened. So I actually didn't meet a single person for about 9 months when I moved up here to North Carolina. So it was tough. It was unique. And definitely a year that I'm hoping never happens again. But I'm here now, and my job as general manager is to run the business of the baseball team. So we are a small business. We employ about 70 to 80 part-time staff. We have a full-time staff of 4. And then in the summer, it expands to about a full-time staff of 15 with interns. And our internship program is usually college kids. With that being said, yeah, so I know you guys are working on the website. I try my best to update our website all the time. I haven't done it so in the last couple of weeks, but we have 2 different websites. We have a website for our merchandise, and we have a website for our general information. So where you get tickets to a ball game, what events are coming up, what games are coming up, what our player stats and everything like that. So I have to manage both of those websites along with our business efforts. So our sales is any of their parent, you guys do say, if you guys ever, any of your parents do sales, marketing, or anything like that?
Anybody's parents do anything in sales?
My dad works at Blue Cross Blue Shield.
Okay, that's.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. So that's I'm contacting them. I'm creating partnerships with, and when I say partnerships, I mean the sock puppets will get, when you see the banners on the outfield wall, so you'll see Glen Raven, Alamance Community College, you'll see them. So that's what I'm trying to do in this time of year, is build up those partnerships, bring businesses in that want to support the club, want to get their name out in front of our fans that we bring into games, to hopefully sell their product or get more visibility in the community. So that's really what I do. A whole bunch of different stuff, but I love my job. It's fun. I love this community. I love where I'm living. I live in Burlington now. I became a Burlington resident in July, so I'm excited about that. And yeah, we finished our 2nd season as the Sock Puppets this last year, and we're full steam ahead, ready for our 3rd season here next summer.
So I actually just moved here also. So we're in the same boat there. I just moved in June. I came from New York. I know we met briefly over the summertime, but they have the group of questions. And Alex, you're going to start us off, okay?
I have 2 things that I need to say. I don't think the picture I for time, so.
Okay, just speak.
Okay. Hi.
This is Alex.
Hi. Is it possible for us to receive players that we're missing? Hai Chong, Yao, and Tai Han.
So we're missing a bunch of photos.
Yep.
With the players. Like what we did was a lot of the guys had the college pictures. We were able to find those and drag like the college picture in. But I know you have somebody from LB China, and there's like nothing on the guy in like at all.
Yeah. So actually, let me see if I can track down something there. So it's tough. It's tough for us because we got those guys, I think, with about 2 weeks, 3 weeks left in the season.
There you go.
So we didn't have what we do is when players come in, when a bunch of players come in, we have what's called a media day. So a media day for us is when we set up, your headshots, which are the pictures that you see. We set up green screens to take, little video clips of the player, get to know the player. We'll have news reporters out there to take interviews if they want to have interviews with the players, etc. So because they came in so late in the season, we never had a full media day. So we never got our specific pictures, like headshots with them of their face. I can look to see if we have pictures of them in game action, though, if that would work.
Okay. That does work.
Sure.
So is that a partnership you guys have moving forward with MLB China?
Yeah, so our league is owned by Major League Baseball. All right. So all the clubs, there's 10 clubs in the league, and we're all individually operated. And what that means is there is a private owner for each of the clubs. So we are owned by someone different than the Johnson City Doughboys are owned by. Okay. But the league in general, so we all report to the league in general is owned by Major League Baseball. So one of their huge initiatives is expanding the game internationally, even more so than what it already is. And due to that, that's why they're trying to bring a lot more Chinese players, Japanese players, Korean players over to the United States to play in these leagues.
That's pretty great. That's good to hear.
Yeah.
Especially,
This is my dog, by the way.
Puppy! It's a puppy! It's a puppy!
Alex.
They're popular.
All right.
You're hallucinating.
All right. He got it. He understands it. You did a good job. Coop, you're up, buddy.
How far does the team travel to play away games?
Can you say that again?
How far does the team travel to play away games?
Yeah, so
How-
one of the best things about this league is the proximity for players. That's why Major League Baseball actually wanted to keep the league after the pandemic and after minor league baseball contracted. So there used to be 172 minor league baseball teams, and Major League Baseball decided that was just too many for Major League Baseball teams to handle. So they brought it down to 120. So we used to be a part of officially minor league baseball. We used to be at the rookie level, if that makes sense. And in minor league baseball, there used to be rookie level, single A, double A, triple A, and then the majors. Now there's just single A, double A, triple A majors. So we got cut. Okay. And Major League Baseball could have just said, done with you, but they really loved the league and how it was set up in the proximity, which is why they decided to own it and then create it to summer collegiate, if that makes sense. So with that being said, we are the farthest away team from most of the teams in the league travel about an hour or two to each location. We are far away. So our farthest team is about 4 hours. Our closest team is in Danville, Virginia, which is about 45, 50 minutes.
You guys all bus? It's all bus related, or you trains
It's
also?
all bus related. Yep.
Okay, there you go. All right, good job. Thanks, buddy.
How much do players get paid?
So when we were in minor league baseball, the rookie affiliate, they got paid their minor league minimum salary, which was, I think, the equivalent of $30,000 a year. But most of the players would, if they got drafted, they would get what's called a signing bonus. So if a player got drafted at a higher level, like in the first round or second round, they would get more money as a bonus. So some of these players had $1 million, $2 million signing bonus that they would live off of on top of their $30,000 equivalent salary a year, which isn't a lot. These players are all collegiate players. So because they're collegiate players and NCAA regulations, they cannot get paid to play. What they can do, though, is we put them up for free. They get free housing. They get a food stipend, and a food stipend is cash every single day for food that's dedicated or supposed to be used for food. They get clothing. They get free transportation. So when they're here at the league, they're not and playing in the league, they're not making money, but they're not losing money either, if that makes sense.
So I think I told you guys this a while ago. Before I got married to Jen, I was a sponsored softball player. It was the same thing. I didn't make any money, but I had free gear, I got my bat bag for free. I got my jersey for free, my cleats, all that was taken care of, but I had to pay to drive in. So it's a similar thing basically. So it's a showcase for them, and it's a way for them to compete at the same time. So
And we actually do one better. We pay for travel. So we pay for the flight in and the flight out.
I had to pay for gas. At the time, gas was like $2 a gallon, so it wasn't that bad. All right, so Does that make sense, everybody? Everyone understand?
Inflation,
Yeah,
yay!
four.
Yeah, exactly. All right.
Inflation.
All right.
How much does the team make selling tickets?
How much does the team make selling tickets? That's a good question. So, like I mentioned before, we are a small business. And as part of the business, we need to have what's called revenue streams. You guys know what a revenue stream is? You guys ever heard that term? So a revenue stream is areas that we can bring in money. And one of those areas is tickets. All right. So we have these are the ways that we make money. We make money on tickets. We make money on merchandise. We make money on concessions. So food and beverage is what we call that. So concessions and your drinks, sodas, water. We make money on sponsorships. And then we also make money on what we call NTRs, which are non-traditional revenue generating events. So what that means is non-baseball related activities. So if we host a 5K, if we host a kickball event, if we host something like that that does not take place during a specific sock puppets game, that's what's considered an NTR, a non-traditional revenue generating event. So those are our main revenue generating buckets. Our tickets revenue generating bucket, and sorry to be long-winded here, is broken down even further. So we have single game tickets, all right, that you can either purchase online or walk up. You have your season memberships, you have your mini memberships, and then you have your group and hospitality tickets. Okay. And of our ticket revenue generation like bucket, tickets make up about 30% of our total revenue.
There you go. Now, have you guys explored like doing like live feeds and stuff like that on YouTube and all that stuff to try to get that going too?
So we actually stream online. We stream all of our games online with a system called Pixelot. So we do not have in the budget to have like a nice production, unfortunately. So what we have is Pixelot is this new technology that's coming out that Major League Baseball actually paid for us, and it's in every single Appalachian League team. It's 2 cameras, and what they do is they zoom in and they zoom out automatically based off of where they think the ball is. So if the ball's in the pitcher's hand, it'll zoom in closer to the pitcher. And if they think the ball's in play, it'll zoom out and you'll see the whole field. Now you won't have like I said, the Major League Baseball production of a close-up shot of a batter, but you'll at least be able to see the game. Our stream's usually very popular with our fans for away games and then for parents from out-of-state players that can't make it.
So I do a little video production on the side. You did me a favor, so if you need any help with anything, you let me know.
100%.
All right, I'll be in touch. All right. All right, who's up next?
Are
Can we-
there any holiday-themed events?
Holiday themed events. Are there any holiday?
Great question. So we are located in a very, very interesting geographical location when it comes to minor league baseball. Have you guys ever heard of the Durham Bulls?
Yes.
Yeah. You guys ever heard of the Greensboro Grasshoppers?
Yeah.
Okay, so both of those teams are within 30 to 40 minutes from our ballpark. Now, the Durham Bulls are AAA, which means if you remember what I said earlier, they're one step below Major League Baseball. So the level of talent there is almost as good, if not right there at the Major League level. We are not that. We're collegiate. So our talent level is a little bit lower than them. Greensboro Grasshoppers is high A. So they are just a little bit below Durham Bulls and a little bit higher than us. So when we are marketing ourselves and we're trying to get people to come to our games, if we try to market ourselves as come watch awesome baseball, it's going to be tough because there's better baseball theoretically 30, 40 minutes down the road. So what we do, and to answer your question, what we do is those themed events, those holiday themed events. We do a Christmas in July. We'll do a Halloween in July. We'll do a bunch of these promotional silly themes to get people to our ball game because we focus on the entertainment. We focus on the game being fun. Obviously, baseball is being played, but we always try to make sure if we win or lose, our fans don't care. Our fans are coming regardless if we're first in the league or if we're dead last. Does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, probably.
Mario, nice and loud because you get further away. Okay, the speaker's over there. Nice and loud.
Why is your team located south?
The logo.
question. Great question. That's the number one question I get asked everywhere still, almost 2 years after we rebranded. And it's a story that I love to tell. So when we came up here, as I mentioned earlier, we were the Burlington Royals because we were the rookie level affiliate of the Kansas City Royals. When the minor league baseball contraction happened and we no longer became an affiliated minor league team, we were no longer partnered with the Kansas City Royals. So we couldn't use that name. So we couldn't be called the Burlington Royals. So we had to rebrand to something. Okay. So that was known. We had to rebrand to something. Now, why did we choose something as ridiculous as the Sock Puppets? And the answer lies there within the question, because we wanted to be ridiculous. So now, if you remember, I just said the Durham Bulls and the Greensboro Grasshoppers, they're high-level baseball. They market themselves as high-level baseball. We do not market ourselves as high-level baseball. We market ourselves as an entertainment, as fun, as a unique night out in the summer. That's what we market ourselves as. So when we were thinking of names that would reflect what we are going to do as a business, we started looking at some wacky names. So to take that one step further as well, we wanted a name that had history embedded from the community. You guys see all those water towers and everything when you're driving down, like you guys see a bunch of rusty water towers all over here. There's like 15 in the county. Yeah. So all those water towers used to be utilized by what's called a textile mill. Do you guys know what a textile mill is?
Yes.
So some do, some don't. So a textile mill is mills that created clothing, is what's created fabric. We were known here back in the late 1800s, early 1900s. Burlington and Alamance County was known as the textile capital of the South. Okay, so what that meant was we produced so many textiles, so many pieces of clothing, so many socks were created and produced here. So when we were learning about the history, when I moved here, I took about 3 months and I was just interviewing city officials, people that have been here for a while, people that just moved here. And a huge thing was the textile heritage that was here. And the sock production kept coming up. So as we were thinking, all right, well, we want to name something based off of the history of this area, and we wanted to be wacky, we took the concept of socks and we're like, all right, what can be crazy about that? And a sock puppet can be as crazy as you want it to be.
There you go.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So our tagline, as corny as this is sockingly different, sockingly fun. And that's what we try to produce. That's what we market ourselves as. And we saw a 35% increase in attendance from 2021 to over 2019. So when our last year as the Burlington Royals in 2019, we had 35% more people attend our games in 2021 as the Sock Puppets than we did as the Royals.
There you go. All right, Andrew.
How much does it cost for the team to purchase food?
Hey, food budget. Is this food budget expensive?
Say that again. Food budget
Yeah.
to feed the team or for our concessions?
Feed the team.
To feed the team, that's a great question. So we have to stick to a strict budget of $20 a day for players for their stipend, and then we get $20 a day additional for their dinner. So the players really get $40 a day. They get $20 in cash that they can take to Chick-fil-A, Chipotle if they want to, or the grocery store. And then we have a $20 budget per player for their post-game meal. So we use a local restaurant in downtown Burlington, Burlington Beer Works. They cater our food for the players for both the home and the visiting team. We have about, with coaches and clubhouse staff, there's 82 players combined between the visitors and the home team. So 41 meals go to the home clubhouse, 41 meals go to the visitors clubhouse.
There you go.
Over the course of the year, I think it's about $40,000 in food costs just for dinner.
Yeah, you gotta remember one thing. These guys they're not small people either. You know,
They are not small people.
Yeah, there was one guy the guy was like 6'6". The guy Ian McNabb looked like that day. He was a big dude.
Yeah, he's as big as you. That's right.
Who's got the computer? What's next? Karen, nice round.
How often does the team practice?
How often does the team practice?
So these kids are all collegiate players. So their spring season, their main collegiate season starts in February. And if they don't make the tournament, will end in the middle of May. If they do make the collegiate national tournament, it'll end in the beginning of June, middle of June. So when our players report here, if their college team is not playing in the tournament, they'll report to us in the beginning of June, and they'll have about 3 days of practice with us. And then from there, they play pretty much every single game. So they don't practice a whole bunch. To be honest, they might have about an hour and a half warm up where they're taking batting practice. They might be, warming up their arm, but in season, there's not a lot of practice that's being done because they're playing games almost every single day.
When do you guys kick off in terms of like when you start playing?
So our home opener this year, I think I should know this off the top of my head, June 8th. I want to say it's a Thursday this year. Yeah, June 8th is when we kick off.
It's the last day of school for these guys.
Yeah, well, I think what we're doing, I'm working with the school system. You guys will all have. Did you guys come to the school's night out game last year? You guys should have all got a ticket last year.
Oh, yeah, Alexander Wilson got him. I was planning on going, but they just flew past my.
So that's for you. You run that night. You're gonna run out.
I think I went, but I
So yeah, every single year moving forward, we did this. We started doing this last year, and we want to continue doing it. We give a free ticket to every ABSS and private school student, and it's distributed by the school system that they're in. So you guys will have a free ticket to whatever the game. There'll be a game after you guys get out. It'll be during the first week you guys are out of school, the first week you're out of school, and you'll have a free ticket to come to the game.
Okay. And the last two questions were actually not team related. They're about you. They want to know how long you've been involved in baseball and have you had any other jobs in baseball?
Oh my gosh. Hold on. My dog is now playing with his chew toy.
Okay.
So I took a business class when I was in high school, and I hated school, to be honest. All right. Now I don't encourage you guys to hate school, but I wasn't.
I'm a teacher now, so.
Well, yeah, there you go. But my teacher said the quote, "If you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life. If you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life." And that resonated with me because I also hate working. So I wanted to, and I figured out you have to work. Okay. So you guys will learn that you have to work one way or another. So if I had to work, I might as well do something that I loved. And I was thinking to myself, well, what do I love? And I grew up loving sports. I grew up a huge Cleveland Browns, Cleveland Indians, now they're the Guardians, Cleveland Cavaliers fan. And I grew up playing sports. So I wanted to stay around sports. And when I went to Clemson University in South Carolina, yes, they did not have the best weekend football on Saturday. You guys don't need to bring that up. And I decided I want to work in sports. So I actually, as soon as I got stepped foot on campus, I applied for about 3 internships or student working positions in the athletic department. I got one in the athletic ticket office. And then from there, I just kept working in the athletic department. I got my first internship for the Burlington Royals, actually, this summer after my freshman year. And then I worked in baseball ever since. I had an internship every single summer after college. I graduated early from college to work for the Daytona Tortugas, which is a minor league team affiliated with the Cincinnati Reds down in Daytona. I was the business development manager there, and then eventually the director of corporate partnership. And then I became the GM of the Burlington Royals in March 1st of 2020, and then transitioned to the Sock Puppets with the rebrand and have been here ever since. So that's my story in baseball. And what was the second question?
You basically answer both.
Answer both. Perfect.
Do you come from Ohio? Is that where you stem from?
Yeah, so I'm originally from a very, very small town in Ohio, about 25 minutes west of, if you guys have ever heard of the amusement park, Cedar Point. I'm right in Lake Erie. Hey, bud. I got, this is Thready. His name's Thready, like Freddy, but sock pun. So the thread of a sock, he keeps my life together. And I say, when I say together, I mean barely together. And yeah, I got him last year after the first.
All right. Does anybody else have any questions they thought of the top of the head as we went along? Mario.
So how did you get to the Browns?
Good question. So when I interned here for the Burlington Royals, the general manager's name was Ryan Kerr. And so long story short, I got lucky. So Ryan Kerr was the GM here. And then after he was the GM here from 2012 to 2016, and then he became the president of the Daytona Tortugas. He offered me a job to move down to Daytona. I did. And then he actually bought the club. He's now the individual operator for the Burlington Sock Puppets. So he bought the club March 1st of 2020 and asked if I wanted to move up here. And I did. So I followed Ryan. I've been with Ryan Kerr almost my entire professional career.
All right. So, a question for me. I was going through like obviously the videos and whatnot on YouTube, and I saw Jack McDowell. Obviously, I think he's no longer part of the thing, but I grew up in New York.
Yeah.
So Jack was a pitcher there. So, how'd that happen?
So Jack was our first manager of the Sock Puppets, and we love Jack. Jack's an awesome guy. Has some crazy stories, as you could probably imagine. He's an awesome guy, and he was the athletic director and baseball coach for Queens University in Charlotte. And when he saw the Major League Baseball was taking over this league, changing it to a collegiate summer league, and then we're looking for managers, he put his hat in the ring and wanted to be in Burlington because he was living in Charlotte at the time. I think he's still living in Charlotte. So he could have, he can stay here this summer and then drive home, an easy commute. So that's how we got him. And it was awesome to have him our first year. He then got busy because his son is 14 or 15 and started doing the travel ball circuit. He wanted to coach him and be more involved with him in the summer. So that's why we weren't able to bring him back.
Gotcha. All right. We have like 2 minutes, guys. So one more question. If someone has not spoken yet, want to speak? You guys all spoken? All right. Yeah.
Did you play any sports before?
Yeah, so I played baseball, basketball, and actually golfed in high school. I played all 3 sports. Golf in Ohio is a fall sport. So I golfed in the fall, played basketball in the winter, and played baseball in the spring. And then at Clemson, I actually played on the scout team for the women's basketball team. So I played club basketball at Clemson, which is just like a group of guys that wanted to continue playing organized basketball. And we were approached by the Clemson women's basketball coach if we could practice against the girls to give them a little bit bigger competition or better competition, bigger athletes and everything like that. We were a little bit bigger on average than the women on the reserves for the women's team. So I did that for 3 years, and that was so much fun.
There you go. So, all right, last question. Let's go.
When you realized that you wanted to work with athletics, did you know that you wanted to work with baseball?
Yeah, so baseball was my first choice. Baseball's always been my favorite sport to be around. I just love the game. I love there's just a lot of opportunities here. It's the business side of it is a lot more challenging than a lot of the other sports because it's slow, because there's a lot of games, and I kind of like that challenge. Football is easy because it's 1 game a week, and it's not like people get burnt out from that. So people can get burnt out going to baseball games, specifically if there's longer homestands. So I like to have the challenge of finding ways to see increased attendance, not just over the course of the season compared to seasons of the past, but also over the course of a homestand as well.
All right, Alex, and then we're gonna get out of here because we have to go class. Okay.
So, how are the seats in the stands like comfy?
So they do their job. They allow people to sit down and watch the game. Could they be comfier? For sure. Are they lazy boys? By absolutely no means are they even close to a lazy boy. But lazy boys are recliners. I don't know if that's actually a thing anymore now that I'm thinking about it. Like the comfy recliners that your dad sits in. That's what I'm talking about, lazy boys. But no, like they're not the comfiest. We have blue chair back seats that are a little bit comfier than the bleacher seats. But when you come out with your free ticket this year, you can be the judge of that for yourself.
Okay.
All right. What do you guys think?
Thank
you. Thank you for your time.
Thank you guys. This was fun. I hope you guys enjoyed it.
So when you're all done, we'll send the link over your way, and you could bounce back and forth and let me know what you think.
That sounds like a plan. I
All
appreciate you guys.
Thank you so very much. All right. Take care, man. Be good. Stop flexing. You have the muscles.
No.
Yes, you would. Yeah, even I.